Hello, hello, hello to everybody out there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to whoever and wherever you are. We are so happy that you have decided to join us today on this lovely Sunday where it is so chilly here in New York that I am wearing yet again my favorite flannel 2 days in a row. I promise I own other clothes. I really do. But I'm so happy to see all of you here today in the daily antidote of song. This is our last day of yet another archive challenge week in partnership with the Library of Congress, which is why we are joined by these lovely people right here who we've come to know and love so much. Steve Winnick and Jennifer Cutting. We love them. They are our co-hosts for today and all week long. So you're going to hear more from them in just a minute. And of course, you will notice today we are being graced by the presence of Dr. Ysaye Barnwell, another dear friend and just such a, she has been here so much with us in the Daily Antidote. She is an old face here, but a young, beautiful face everywhere else. And let's go ahead and say hello to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Hello to all of our friends. We can't see you, but we know you're there, and we're so happy you are. And of course, a big hello to everybody here in the Zoom room with us. Hello to Joe Rossi, who is still out of town. And hello to hi, Jim Harkless. Hi. Hello to Hoda. Hello to Amanda and Miles in Michigan. Hello to Bonnie in Boise, Idaho. Hello to Mabel and perhaps Bob somewhere. And perhaps some cinnamon bears. Yes, there they are. Hello to Annette. Hello to Sue and Arlene in Berkeley, California. Hello to Aloysius. Hello to Susan G. Hello to Rosie. That is such a cool way to spell Rosie, by the way. I love that. Hello to Karen in Oregon. Hello to Jenny. Hello to Storm. Hello to Gary. There's Bob. He's got his own screen today. Hey, Bob. Hello to Kathy in Virginia. Sarah in Texas. Trish in Victoria, British Columbia. Christiana. And we say hello to Bob too, if he's in his own screen or not. Either way. Hello to Carolyn in Boise, Luda and Mark in Victoria, BC. Toby. Hello, Brian. Hello to Cricket and Fred in Silver Spring. Hello to Anne in Maryland, Steve and Michelle. Hello to Ruth in Birmingham, England. Penny and Ralph also in Victoria. So many friends from Victoria. Love it. Hello to Elizabeth, Susan in Seattle, Kirsten, hello. Hi to Deli, hello to Anne in Nashville, hello to Rosalie in Michigan, Martha, and hello to Anne in Knoxville, Carol J in Connecticut, Dorothy, Becky in BC, and Elizabeth again, maybe popped over to my screen's moving. It's okay. Hey to Dick and Kathy in Victoria. And hello off camera to all of our friends. That would be Joe's mom, Ray Rossi, of course. Thank you and hello. Hello to Isabel, Shari, James, Jane G, and let's see who else is here. I think I see Kevin. Yeah, Kevin's off camera here. Hello to Kat, Suzanne, Anne in Maryland. Let's see, did I miss anybody? I sure hope not, but if I did, then I'm gonna try real hard to get you on the way out. All right, well now it is time, of course, to turn it over to our wonderful co-hosts. Tell us more, Steve and Jen.
Thank you so much for those wonderful hellos, Erin. I will say hello myself, maybe for the seventh time this week and the last time this week. I'm Jennifer Cutting, and this is my colleague and partner in crime, Stephen Winnick. And Steve is a folklorist, and I'm an ethnomusicologist, but we're both called folklife specialists at the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. And now you know us, don't be strangers. Please pop in to the American Folklife Center reading room by appointment, of course. We're now on our last day of our 5th Archive Challenge Partnership Week on the Daily Antidote of Song. Can you believe we're at the end of our week already?
Amazing. And, it's actually only the 6th time saying hello for you.
Because I was gone yesterday.
She abandoned me yesterday and left me here alone. So when I was talking about the Library of Congress at the beginning, there was a question in the chat which I made a mental note of, but because I was juggling a couple of things, I didn't remember to answer it. So I'm going to talk about that today. The Library of Congress, of course, was established in 1800, so it's officially the country's oldest federal cultural institution and the largest library on earth as well. And the question yesterday was whether it was true that Thomas Jefferson had donated his library to the Library of Congress. And the answer to that is not exactly. He didn't donate it, he sold it to the government. And we paid $29,000 for it, which in 1815 was a massive fortune. And it was kind of a controversy whether we should actually do this. You know, Congress went back and forth about whether we should spend this money. But the reason that we had to do it was that, of course, we had stocked the library originally in 1800. And what happened in 1814? Well, the poorly named War of 1812 was going on in 1814, and the British came through Washington and they burned Congress, and that included the library. And so the Library of Congress went up in flames in 1814, and in 1815 we replaced it by buying Thomas Jefferson's books.
And let's say it, he really needed the money.
He needed the money, we needed the books. It was a good,
it was a win-win situation.
But unfortunately, as the question continued to say, and also, is it true that Thomas Jefferson's library later burned? Sadly, yes, that is true.
2/3 of it burned
in 1851. And so over the years, we have replaced that original Thomas Jefferson's library with the same edition of every book that we bought from him. And we now have that as an exhibit within the library. So you can come to the Library of Congress sometime and you can see that. So we are, of course, Jennifer and I work for the American Folklife Center, which is a tiny division of this giant library. There's only 28 of us working on folklife issues. There are over 3,000 people working at the Library of Congress. So we are small but mighty.
We do a lot of things for 28 people. We maintain a huge archive of over 6 million items. We provide reference services for those items and collections. We produce a wonderful virtual concert series, soon to move to an in-person concert series when it's safe to do so. We produce lectures, symposia, blogs, and podcasts. And one of the fun things we do also is this archive challenge, where we invite artists from all genres in all places all over the world to learn a song from our collections and put their own artistic stamp on it. We're going to tell you a little bit more about that and about today's featured field recording soon. So we hope you have time to stay for a little while after we sing together. But we want to hear some music as soon as possible from our fabulous guest, Dr. Ysaye Barnwell.
Yes, so we're going to introduce Ysaye right now. She's best known as a member of the fantastic vocal group Sweet Honey in the Rock, of which she was an integral member for 34 years. But she is also, of course, a speech pathologist, educator, scholar, public health professional, and one of the most accomplished people we know. And we are very honored to have her here in the Daily Antidote of Song. She is, of course, a frequent song leader here for us in the Antidote, and she is going to lead us in a song called Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. And we've got those words, if we could put them up in the chat. And we are going to now ask Ysaye if you would be willing to teach us the chorus to this song.
Sure, and thank you very, very much for another invitation to join you. It excites me. So actually the lyrics in the chorus are lean on, lean. Hold on. Leaning, safe and secure from all alarm, leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms. Should we do it again?
All right,
let's do it one more time, just so we can learn it.
What's interesting to me is that there are two ways to sing the chorus and they can be sung together. So I'm battling with myself.
Right.
Leaning on Jesus, safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms.
All right.
How's everybody
Okay.
doing? Do you have that out there? Great. Some of you can sing leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus. And some of you can sing leaning, leaning. And it'll sound great together, as Ysaye says.
All right.
Right.
So Ysaye, if you would like to lead us in the whole song, we are ready for you.
Okay, let me figure out the key that I most want to sing this in. What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, what a blessedness, what a peace is mine. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. Here we go. Well, leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus, safe and secure from all alarm. Oh, leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, how sweet to walk in the pilgrim way, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, how bright the path grows from day to day, leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, I'm leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus, safe and secure from all alarms. Oh, lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms. Well, what have I to dread? What have I to fear? Leaning on the everlasting arms. I have blessed peace with my Lord so near. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, lean on Jesus, lean on Jesus, safe and secure from all alarm. Well, leaning on Jesus, I'm leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting arms. One more time. Leaning on Jesus, I'm leaning on Jesus, I'm safe and secure from all alarms. Oh, I'm leaning on the Jesus, I'm leaning on Jesus, I'm leaning on the everlasting arms.
Oh, wonderful. Ysaye, that was fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, my goodness. I used to play that hymn in church. I worked my way through music school as a church organist in a Methodist church.
Wow.
And let me tell you, we never had that much fun with it as you just had with it today. I loved all that syncopation and the clapping and all the melody variations. Oh, my goodness. I wish we'd had that much fun with it in the church I played in.
They're a grown-up Baptist.
That was fabulous. So let me tell you a little bit about Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. Not much, just a bite-sized amount of information. It was written by the words were written by a minister called Elisha Hoffman. And Elisha Hoffman wrote more than 2,000 gospel songs.
Wow.
He was from Pennsylvania, but it ended up working in a couple different towns in Ohio. It was the words to Leaning on the Everlasting Arms were inspired by Deuteronomy 33:27, the scripture that said, "The eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms.
Oh.
So now we would like to play for you the field recording that inspired Ysaye's beautiful singing of this hymn. This comes from a session recorded in 1983 in Port Norris, New Jersey. And the singers were a group of oyster shuckers who were singing in their free time, recorded by our field worker, Mary Hufford. They were doing all kinds of things. They were singing their favorite songs. They were talking about cooking their favorite dishes, and they just had a great old evening together. So let's hear the oyster shuckers of Port Norris, New Jersey, singing Everlasting Arms.
What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace in mind, leaning on the everlasting arms. Well, we are leaning, yes, we are leaning, oh, safe and secure from all alone. Well, we are leaning, so leaning, oh, we're leaning on the everlasting arms.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful. So
You
again,
know what that
was-
reminds me of?
What
It
he
reminds
said?
me
Ysaye?
of growing up in the Baptist church, and it
Mhm.
would sort of start out very slow.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then the rhythm would start to increase, and by the end, leaning on Jesus, I'm leaning on Jesus, I'm safe. It was
Yeah, that
really
happens
amazing.
that happens in this recording too. They don't get quite that fast, but they get faster as they
Right.
go on. So it's exactly
Right.
that same tradition. And
Yeah.
again, these were maritime workers in New Jersey. A little secret about me is that before I came to the Library of Congress, I was one of the regional folklorists for the state of New Jersey. And my region
Oh.
was in the southern part of New Jersey, just bordering on where Port Norris is. It's along the north shore of the Maurice River, just by where the mouth of the river is in the Delaware Bay. And the primary economic driver of the town until the 1950s was oystering. And there's actually a town right next door to Port Norris called Shell Pile, which is named after a giant pile of oyster shells that is outside the shucking shack. So that's how important oysters were in this region. In the 1950s, there was an oyster blight caused by a parasite, which killed a lot of the oysters in the bay, and the oystering profession got much smaller, but there are still some folks who are able to do it. And many of the oyster workers are and always have been African American in this little maritime community. So this recording was actually made before my time in New Jersey. I was a teenager when this recording was made in the 80s. But one of the field workers, Rita Moonsamy, was actually one of the people who hired me to work there. So it's kind of nostalgic to hear some of her work. And the other field worker, Mary Hufford, was Jennifer's longtime colleague at the American Folklife Center. So we both have sort of connections to the folklorists involved in this recording. And I have some nice connections to the region. So it feels good to hear this recording.
Yeah, it's like a homecoming for us hearing these field recordings from the Pinelands Folklife Project. And we should say from its founding in 1976 to the mid 90s, the American Folklife Center focused on field projects, sending collectors all over the country to record and document traditional culture. And for the last few years, we've been working so hard to get all of those field projects online. And this New Jersey Pinelands project is the latest one to go up. It only went online just a few weeks ago, which is why we're thrilled to have Ysaye singing a song from that collection from these oyster shuckers in Port Norris. And we're going to put the link up in the chat so you can explore the collection. There's all kinds of great music in the and more. There's all kinds of traditional culture, but for the music, there's wonderful bluegrass and old time and gospel. So please explore this collection. Aaron, if you could put up the collection for Pinelands Folklife Project. It starts with www.loc.gov/collections Pinelands Folklife Project.
So while we do that, we of course want to thank once again Dr. Ysaye Barnwell. And of course, Ysaye, we know that you already knew versions of these songs, and we wonder, were you able to listen to these field recordings before singing today, and what impact they had on you if you were able to do that?
Actually, unfortunately, I did not even have a reference for the recordings, but I will definitely go and check them out now.
All right, we will get that to you. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
And Ysaye, if you could tell us a little bit, since we're winding up our Archive Challenge week here on the Daily Antidote of Song, I just wondered if you could tell us a little about how it was for you to sing in the Daily Antidote during all throughout the pandemic, because let's face it, we're still in semi-lockdown. We're not out of it yet. We're not out of the woods yet. So how has singing in the Daily Antidote helped you during the pandemic to stay connected to people?
Well, I'm really glad you asked that, although it's challenging for me because, you know, I'm used to singing with other people. I love to sing with other people, and I love to get other people to sing. And so doing this is like a really kind of awkward thing for me to do, just to be sitting in my dining room singing and not knowing who's singing back or with me or hearing harmonies or anything like that. But what I am grateful for is the connection, just the pure connection with whoever is out there to say, you know, whatever songs you remember from your childhood, let them hit the air, you know, and if someone else hears it, maybe they'll send something back to you, or maybe you'll decide to be together for a day or so and to just sort of bring up songs that you know, MacDonald had a farm. Well, okay, fine.
A good song is a good song.
A good song is a good song, and a fun song is a fun. Really important that you know, that people get together and sing and have that opportunity.
All right.
So I'm grateful to reach out to as many people as are listening.
Well, thank you so much. We want to do a little plug for the Archive Challenge and then return to Dr. Barnwell for a reprise of the chorus of this song. So the plug for the Archive Challenge is we've been running this Archive Challenge as a stay-at-home Archive Challenge since the beginning of the pandemic. That is, we've put out instructions for how people can participate, learn a song from the archive, and record a version of their own. And so those instructions are in a blog post, which is now in the chat, and you can all do the Archive Challenge yourselves by following the instructions in there. But for now, we would love it if Ysaye Barnwell would sing for us the chorus of the song once again. Take us out of this wonderful.
Okay, I have people who are
Antidote.
calling me. Excuse me.
I just wanted to say what a great thing it is to sing "Leaning on the Everlasting Arms" on a Sunday morning.
That's right.
Which I played this song on a Sunday morning, so many Sunday mornings of my life.
Wow. Well, all right,
bring it back memories for me. This is great.
Good. Okay, so I'm going to sing the first verse again, and then we'll all do the chorus together.
Sounds good.
Okay. What a fellowship, what a joy divine, when leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, what a blessedness, oh, what a peace is mine, just leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, we're leaning on Jesus. We're leaning on Jesus. We're safe and secure from all alarms. Oh, we're leaning on Jesus. We're leaning on Jesus. We're leaning on the everlasting arms. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ysaye, so much. It is always such a treat to have you in the room. Your voice, your spirit, your everything is just so gorgeous, and we are so lucky to have you with us anytime we can.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, please, the pleasure is all ours. Well, that wraps up another incredible archive challenge week. Thank you so much, Steve and Jen. You guys are incredible.
Thank you,
and
Aaron,
just you are
for-
such a wealth of knowledge. And I don't know, I feel like we all always leave these archive challenge weeks so much more cultured, so much more aware, so much more, I don't know, just yes, we have requests for Figgy if he's around.
Oh, can you see if you
I'll
can find
If you
Figgy?
can,
And
if you want to grab Figgy while
That's
we
right.
start the goodbyes.
in the meantime, I will just say thank you to Aaron, thank you to Jojo, and of course, thank you to the wonderful Dr. Ysaye Barnwell. Also would like to thank Carpe Diem Arts and Busy Graham, if she's in the room or even if she's not, for helping us to run these wonderful programs, including the Daily Antidote of Song. Just such a joy for us to be involved in this. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will wait for Figgy because you know.
Here he comes.
Oh, here he comes.
Here he comes. Here's the picture.
Figgy,
Figgy the archive cat.
Figgy.
He's leaning on the everlasting arms
He
himself.
sure is. Oh, look. Amanda and Miles are holding up another not so archive cat.
Oh.
But a beautiful cat, nevertheless. All right. Well, this has been a fantastic week. I can't think of a better way to wrap it up. And now I think it's time to say goodbye. So first of all, a huge goodbye to everybody out there on Facebook Live. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us every day this week. Please come again next week. We're going to have some more wonderful, wonderful things to do. So we will see you then.